Okay, so 2025 without a doubt has been a great year for fans of the kart racing genre. I mean, we got some freaking solid releases, back-to-back hard hitters like Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and of course, we can't forget the titan that stands above them all, Garfield Kart 2. Nah, but for real, it's clear as day that fans of this genre are eating well. Even someone like me, who doesn't play a lot of kart racers, just recently started truly getting into them again. Because when I tried out the Crossworlds network test last month, oh boy, I immediately fell in love with the game and ended up itching for more of that kart racing chaos after they shut it down. Now, one thing you're gonna learn about me the more this channel develops is that when I become fascinated or fixated about a game, song, or movie, I don't just explore that one subject. I'll freaking dive headfirst into the whole genre itself and explore what it has to offer. I've done it with platform fighters in the past. I've done it with real-time strategies just last year, and now this year I'm drifting through the tracks of the kart racing genre, both newer and older games. And honestly, I'm glad I did this, because if it weren't for the little research I did on some alternative kart racers to play, I wouldn't have found this gem that was hidden deep in the crevices of Steam. And at face value, it doesn't look like much, but Karters 2 Turbocharged actually has a lot of potential in being one of the kart racers you'll keep coming back to on PC, since there aren't really any that actually have stuck around in the long run. And I have no clue how the first Karters was, but if I were to make a guess, probably not very good, considering the devs delisted it from Steam. But here's the thing, they did decide to do something that you rarely see in this space, and that's remaking the entire game from the ground up, fixing everything that made the old game bad, and improving and polishing the things that made it good. And just from what I experienced in my 40+ hours with this game, it actually plays as good as it looks, and I'm gonna keep coming back for more. And I just find it very unfortunate for these guys to release a kart racing game of this quality around the same time frame as these other well-established titles. And truth be told, I can't really afford Sonic Racing Cross Worlds at this moment, so there's that. And Sega shut me down for even breathing in their direction for a review copy. I wonder why. So here I am doing my part and spreading the good word of the Karters 2 Turbocharged. Now, if you guys are well versed in this genre, right off the bat, you can see that this game is heavily, and I mean heavily, inspired by Crash Team Racing, which isn't a bad thing because the PC port of its remastered Nitro Field is never gonna see the light of day. But at the time, I've never played CTR, so I decided to try it out for the first time on stream to grasp a decent comparison between the two, and I actually had a good time. Like, it's a really good game. Shoutouts to the peeps that gave me company during the stream too. However, I wouldn't necessarily call this game the solution for CTR on PC. There are some key differences, but it is kind of close enough. For starters, this game basically yoinks CTR's triple boosting system, where while you're drifting, you have 3 times to press the boost button right at the moment this gauge gets full or these lines on your wheels start to touch, with each boost giving you more speed than the previous one, depending on how good you timed it. There's also trick boosts, where the higher you jump, the stronger the boost is, and you can jump really high if you're fast enough. And all this extra speed from both drift boosting and trick boosting get added to a system called the reserves, which is a mechanic that increases your top speed as you boost more. And here's the crazy part, there's no speed limit to the reserves, meaning your kart can go as fast as you can handle, and as long as you keep training these drift boosts and trick boosts, the more reserve speed you'll gain. Just don't hit a wall, because that kills the reserve. Combat items are fairly standard. You have your speed items, offensive items, defensive, nothing different from your typical kart racers other than this item, which heals your kart. Now, I'm not sure if any other kart racer has this, but rather than getting shredded to pieces by one item, Karters 2 has a health system, meaning your kart can take a couple hits, and only when your health reaches 0, then you get interrupted. It's a really interesting way to approach the problem of getting trampled by items like in Mario Kart, but at the same time, I can see it causing some balancing issues in certain situations. Overall though, the controls feel super smooth, and it can really be addicting once you get the hang of things. Because modding is one of the biggest selling points of the game, I do, however, want to pay huge respect to what the devs created themselves real quick, because obviously from the looks of it, they're very well designed. Everything in this game just has an upbeat tone to it. The menu music, bright colors, and cartoony bold font that's kind of reminiscent of those classic video games from the 90s to late 2000s era. And the 16 tracks in this game are just gorgeous, very colorful and lively, with the music complementing their respective worlds. One of my favorite tracks aesthetically would have to be Mythic Moonlight, with its cool tones complementing that mystical theme, as well as the giant moon overlooking the whole map. I mean, I like that moon. And my favorite track to play, however, is Don't Look Downtown, because it's just non-stop skyscraper jumping, which makes you feel like a speed demon with all those ramps contesting the place. While these maps are very well designed and polished looking, and I can say the same thing for the vehicles, I unfortunately can't say the same thing with the designs of the characters, because they are quite random. Like this cat girl, which I'm assuming is the main character, this little blue guy, Skips from Regular Show, and this Squidward elf looking thing. I haven't seen the other two characters that were found in the roster, but hopefully down the line they can remake, polish, or add a couple more characters, because truthfully I really can't see this cast being very memorable at the moment. Maybe this little guy, I guess. Alright, time to get to the really interesting part about this game. The main reason why people mostly gravitate towards it, because if there's one thing that's gonna make this game stand out from the rest of its competition, it's gonna be this game's modding scene. You can legit describe the modding scene of this game like a Family Guy gag. Like, this reminds me of the time SpongeBob was driving a Toyota AE86 through Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. You think that's bad? Remember the time Sora from Kingdom Hearts was piloting the R-Wing through Electron Avenue from Crash Team Racing? Or when Vivi from Final Fantasy IX was driving a forklift in Resort Island from Sonic R? Over 2,000 mods in this workshop, with so many tracks, vehicles, and characters ripped from other games and repurposed in the Karters 2 was what sold me on purchasing this game. I've seen some comments thrown around stating that this game is the Mugen of kart racers, and I fully agree with them. Just please, for the love of God, don't let Nintendo find this. The thought of booting this game up and trying out a new track that I may or may not have seen in the past is just really sick. And it reminds me of those days when I was a kid on Little Big Planet, looking through all those custom maps created by other players and having a blast. Just recently, I was racing as Usagi through Varrock from OSRS. Even the devs explained themselves that the top priority of this game is to play, create, and share, which was something largely inspired by Sony around the PS3 era, and I'm a huge fan of that. The devs are also developing an in-game track editor, so the process of creating tracks will be more accessible to casuals such as myself. One thing I do want to say is that I'd love to see more original tracks created by the community as well, since this game does encourage it. There have been a good handful of original tracks I've found, most notably by this person, so if you plan on getting this game and want some original tracks, check out Seren. This section of the video is probably going to divide some people, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game can get sweaty online. That's if you can find people online, of course. And I feel like it's by the design of the game's endless skill ceiling mixed with the lack of a player base. So going against some good players was a given since there weren't many players on. And it's pretty sad, but it's understandable. I don't want this to discourage people from trying out online though. This game definitely needs more people online of varied skill levels. And if that ever happens in the near future, I will say this: playing this like Mario Kart will not take you very far in this game. I can guarantee it. I'd honestly advise players to try and get familiar with the mechanics and practice with CPUs or complete some of the 80 challenges. And after the tutorial, you'll at least have a good understanding of what's going on and what to improve when you jump into a quick match. And honestly, the addicting part about this game is improving your skills, whether it be chaining as many boosts and gaining the most reserve speed as you can, down to just timing your drift boosts perfectly. But I don't want this section to be fully negative, because I really love the direction the devs are taking online, like the daily and weekly tournaments, custom map pools chosen by the community, alternative game modes like elimination and arena, clan wars, tracks of the day, world record hunts, and so much more planned for the future. At those moments I was able to find matches, they were so seamless and it didn't lag at all. And because of this, the devs are working on a way to merge all the servers for a better matchmaking experience. They also announced that they're planning to add crossplay into the mix for their console release next year, which is huge for console players interested in the game as well. The online in this game has so much potential, and I feel like once more players of varied skill levels hop into the mix, it's really going to be a good time. Despite the little problems I mentioned online, I'd still highly recommend this game. The super polished gameplay alone, along with the amount of game modes and endless mod support, really justifies the purchase. The devs also have a roadmap along with some community suggestions and feedback that they take into heavy consideration. So you know it's no secret that these guys are trying to release a definitive kart racing experience for the PC. On top of all of that, I think it's overall just a fun game. Like, why does Garfield Kart have more active players in this game? It's clear that I really want karters to succeed, and I just find it super unfortunate that it was released around the same time frame as the biggest kart racing titles. I was never too crazy about kart racers in the past, but because of the huge selection of tracks from different games in the karters, it made me go back and try out some classics. And I'm still looking to play more, so hit me up with some suggestions in the comments, especially some underrated ones, because I'll probably stream it on Twitch. Also, I know these are two different things, but Karters 2 also scratches that same itch I get when I surf in Counter-Strike, and I love to surf, so you know I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this. I've already completed all 80 challenges, and most of the time I spent on this game was in time trials or offline Grand Prix. Lots of replayability to be had in this game, and I couldn't recommend it enough. And of course, I'm not sponsored. Gotta clarify that. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about this game. Thank you for supporting the last video, and most importantly, thank you for watching this video. The positivity I've been getting the last couple videos are really motivating, and it honestly makes me want to go even harder when making videos. If I had the ability, I would upload a video every day, but alas, I'm only one person. I'll be streaming a little more on Twitch, so you know where to find me. Thank you again, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.